Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk about my CNA experience. Not the actual work field experience, but just the program itself. This might be useful if you want to be a CNA, if you want to use a CNA as a stepping stone into the nursing field. But yeah, this is just my experience. So first I'll start off with how long was the program. Now my program, it had 3 sections. It had the morning, afternoon, and evening class, and I decided to go with the evening class because in the morning I would be going to my regular school, taking my college classes, and then in the evening I dedicated that time to my CNA class. So my program ran from the last week of January and then the first week of May. And so in total it was like about 3 months and 2 weeks, but technically 3 months and 1 week because we had 1 week off for spring break. But yeah, you get the point. And let's see. And so it ran through Monday through Thursday, 4:30 until 9 p.m. And then once clinical started, it was Monday through Thursday, and then on Saturday, 7:30 until 3 p.m. So basically, I had no life during all those months. But it was all worth it because I got certified, so it was all worth it in the end. But yeah, during those times, oof, I had no life. Okay, so now how did I get into the program? Okay, so now this story, it's funny, it's sad, it was stressful. Yeah. So let's start off when I actually went into the school. You have to take a test to see if you're, an English test, to see if you're competent enough to be in the program. And so I went in there, I passed it, and then after that they gave us like an orientation. And they handed us a packet and they're like, okay, you have to get a TB and a physical and turn this in by next Monday. And so I went there on a Tuesday. So I had 5 days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah, I had 5 days to get it all done before Monday. And that was stressful because knowing my doctor's office, they're not going to get me right away. They're going to get me like 2 weeks later. So yeah, so immediately after I got out of the orientation, I called my doctors, and of course they didn't schedule me. They scheduled me like 2 weeks later, and then I'm like, that's not gonna work. So I went to Google, and so now it's Wednesday. So I Googled places where I could go to get my TB and physical, because for the TB you have to wait 2 days to get your results read. And so latest I could find a place would have to be on a Thursday. And by using Google, I found a place. It was at CVS. I think it's called like the Minute Clinic. And so basically it's like a walk-in service. It sucks because I had to pay out of pocket. My insurance didn't cover it. But it's okay. I got it all done, so that's all that matters. Let's see. And so I made the appointment for Thursday. And so luckily they were going to be open on Saturday, so my TB test can be read on Saturday. So I got all of that done. So that was the first hurdle. The second hurdle was that when it was due. So Monday at 7:30 in the morning, that's when the papers were to be due. And they told us you have to be there 2 hours early because the way how their program works is a first come, first serve. And so first come, first serve. So that's why you have to go there like really early. And I'm like, it's okay, I don't have to get there that early. So the doors open at 7:30 in the morning, and I got there at 6:30 in the morning, and then when I pull up, I see a long line. And immediately I'm like regretting it in my mind. I'm like, why? So then when I got into line, I counted how many people were in front of me, and there were 70 people. And I was hoping and praying that I would get in, because I was hoping that not that many people would actually choose the evening class. Because I would imagine that most people would want to be in the morning or in the afternoon class. And yes, that was what happened. So I got in, luckily. But yeah, getting into the whole program was like crazy. And the reason, because it's a first come, first serve, and a lot of people were applying to that place, is because to get into the program, it's actually free. So the only things that you have to pay is like the scrubs, the uniform, books and supplies, the state exam, and all of that adds up to around $350, which is not that bad. Because comparing to other schools around my area, it ranged from $350 to $2,000. So that was a pretty good deal. Okay, so now for my instructors. I loved all of them. We had one instructor that was constant throughout the whole semester, and she was awesome. But once clinical started, our class was split in half, and so we would have 2 instructors, and that instructor was from either the morning or afternoon class, and because their clinicals dates started differently from ours, so they were free to come to our class, and yeah. But overall, I love them all. Some of them were laid back, some of them were really strict, funny. I just love them all. So the class was actually structured in 3 different sections. It would be theory, lab, and then clinical. For theory, it was just basically lecture, and then for lab, that's where you get your hands-on experience for when you go to clinical. So it's basically you practice taking blood pressure, taking temperature, changing a brief, practicing standard precautions, PPE, and all of that. And so once clinical started, you should be prepared. But the first day of clinicals, I will always remember. It was such a so exciting. And then I was excited and then nervous at the same time. But I guess that's how everyone is, because you go into the classroom where you're all comfortable with your classmates, and then when you go to clinical, it's like actually take care of a patient, you know. But yeah. And so once clinical started, our class was split in half. So we had 24 students, and it would be split off into 12 and 12. And that's when we had the 2 instructors, one for one clinical site and then the other for a different clinical site. And I would always remember my first day, we were all paired up, or at least in my group, we were paired up because it was, the first day, trying to be more comfortable that way. And I remember my partner, she was she gave off that vibe of being strong, because she would always be outspoken. She had that tough attitude. But then when we went to clinicals on the first day, I noticed that she was a little bit shaken. And I was like, it's okay, we got this. It's our first day, don't worry about it. And then she ended up having a panic attack, and then she ended up crying, and our instructor came over to console her, and I'm there oh my God. Everything was our first day of clinical was only 3 hours, but it blew by so fastly. And then all of that was happening. And then at the end, my partner, she told me that the reason why my teacher paired us together was because she thought that she was going to be the strong one and I was going to be the weak one. But it ended up being the other way around. I was the strong one and she ended up being the weak one. So yeah, fun. And so yeah, once clinical started, I don't know if I mentioned this, but Monday through Thursday, and then Saturday, it would be clinicals. So after the first half, it would be lecture only, lecture and then lab. And then midway, it would be Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday would be clinicals, and then Tuesday would be dedicated theory, lecture, and then lab. And then after that, we would be practicing for the state exam, and that was a whole nother excited but nervous at the same time. I remember we were all just waiting there, and we were practicing. We were telling each other, okay, is this how we do it? Is this how we do it? Yeah, that's how you do it. We were second guessing ourselves. It was, yeah, but it was so much fun. So after all of that, yes, I did get certified. I did like the experience, all the residents that I got to meet, all the patients that I got to meet. They're so humble and they care about not only you, the CNA who's taking care of them, but the other people around them. They're so, I don't know, I love them. And yeah, so that was just my experience on the program itself. If you have any questions, you can leave them down in the comments. And if you like this video, if it helped you, you can go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And I will talk to you in my next video. Thank you for watching.